There is a lot of misinformation out there. In the event of a real error, it might be disseminated. Social media, which lacks gatekeepers, enables disinformation to spread quickly and widely in today's atmosphere. It's becoming increasingly difficult for people to tell the difference between reality and fiction as they are inundated with information. Unions take the power out of the employer's hands on many issues. There are examples of cases where workers were engaging in sexual or racial harassment but were protected by their unions and allowed to keep their jobs. Poor workers and excellent workers often receive the same pay and raises, giving no reason for a person to work harder than necessary at their job.
Alexander pursued Bessus eastward until he was apprehended and slain. He fought throughout Central Asia during the time, hoping to incorporate the Persian Empire's most eastern provinces into his own. It was a harrowing, ice-chomped campaign that heightened tensions within Alexander's special armed contingent, eventually leading to the killing of two of his closest colleagues. Scientific and cultural institutions that collect, analyze, trade, and exhibit plants for research as well as public enjoyment are known as botanic gardens. Each capital city has a prominent botanical garden. Captive breeding, preservation, research, and display of native and exotic wildlife are the primary goals of zoological parks and aquariums.
When it comes to corporate governance and company governance, enterprise governance provides a comprehensive accountability framework for enterprises. Instead of looking backwards to give assurance and control over the company's operations, corporate governance takes a forward-looking strategy with the goal of increasing the firm's value through its strategic operation.
The mining industry in Australia is one of the most significant in the world. A significant exporter of coal and iron ore as well as gold and copper, it is self-sufficient in minerals and petroleum. Coal was discovered in 1798 and mineral output increased every year until 1992, when it doubled.
The current policy approaches fail to address the underlying question of why so many mass shootings occur in schools. Students' experiences in school and the significance of schools in American life must be examined to address this topic. Despite the fact that some of these procedures appear rational, there is no data to suggest that they reduce the chance of mass shootings at schools. Tissues are grouped together in the body to form organs. These include the brain, heart, lungs, kidneys, and liver. Each body organ has a specific shape and is made up of different types of tissue that work together. For example, the heart consists mainly of a specialized type of muscle tissue, which contracts rhythmically to provide the heart's pumping action.
Women are devalued and outmoded by beauty pageants like Miss Universe and Miss Teen International. In the eyes of their detractors, these monuments are little more than decrepit symbols. Interest in beauty pageants in Australia has risen dramatically with the crowning of Miss Universe and Miss Teen International Jennifer Hawkins and Lauren Eagle respectively.
A high-fat diet helps cancer cells to outcompete immune cells for fuel, weakening immune function and speeding up tumor growth in mice, according to a new research study. This can be accomplished by cancer cells reprogramming their metabolism to consume more fat. Defeating this rewiring improves the body's ability to fight cancer. Cancer metabolism and immunotherapies might benefit from new approaches based on the results.
Some individuals protest that in order for the eye to adapt and still be a useful tool to its owner, several changes would have had to have occurred concurrently. However, it is not required to infer this if the adjustments were exceedingly modest and gradual.
Overconfidence often leads to misadventures, jeopardizing one's life prospects. Any accomplishment, it is properly said, is the product of two factors: personal planning and external support. People consider solely their own plans, neglecting other considerations in most cases. As a result, they can't predict what will happen in the future. As a result, there's a high chance of failing.
Why is it important to study the past in order to better understand today's society? Even in Europe up to the 18th century, it was widely considered that it could determine how any society should operate. As a guide for the present and future, the past was an inspiration. Symbolically, it was a key to the genetic code that each generation used to make its descendants and organize their relationships. Amphibian, reptilian, mammalian, and avian mass extinctions have occurred in cycles of around 27 million years, corresponding to previously recorded major extinctions of ocean life, according to new research. In spite of the cat's very young exterior, it is actually aging from the inside out. With this comparison, it is much easier for us to comprehend how to manage our cats' lives, health, and behaviors. To reach a comparable human age, it has been claimed that we just multiply a cat's age by 7. Rudyard Kipling's life was plagued by a series of unfortunate incidents. His parents were living in India when he was born, but he was assaulted and harassed by his guardians in England when he was just 5 years old. Over the previous 30 years, the present metric has stayed essentially unaltered. However, there have been significant changes in the economy, culture, and governmental policies that have changed families' economic well-being throughout this time, which is not represented in the measure.
Wellington is located on the Cook Strait, which separates the North and South Islands, at the southwestern extremity of the North Island. On a clear day, the snow-capped Kaikoura Ranges may be seen over the sea to the south. Wellington is the world's southernmost capital city, at 41 degrees south latitude.
Matthew Brady, a well-known portrait photographer, requested permission from President Lincoln in 1861 to shoot the Civil War across the country. Lincoln gave him freedom to travel with the Union Army anywhere he wanted, and his account of the civil battle revealed the horrors of war to millions.
In a free trade economy, the government does not intervene in the flow of goods between its citizens. Imports and exports are free of tariffs, so individuals may freely exchange products and services. Pricing for products and services is solely determined by the forces of supply and demand, with no other considerations at play.